Hey, welcome to the Erie Music History Podcast. I'm Chip Shell, your host. And today's guest is a guy who has likely worn his fair share of spandex and leather pants. He's a guy who AC/DC should have on speed dial if they ever need a new singer. And he's also the guy that helped me out the most when I was writing my book on the Erie County Fieldhouse. Jeff Crock, welcome to the basement.
Thanks, Dan. Glad to be here tonight.
Hey, so thanks for not wearing any of those old pants.
No, I didn't want to scare anybody.
Do you still have some of those outfits?
I have a box somewhere. Someday I'll find it.
Do you really? So were you wearing those? For those of you who don't know, Jeff has played in heavy metal, rock bands. He's worn, am I correct, a lot of leather and spandex over the years.
All that.
Right? The bullet belts.
Bullet belts.
Yeah.
Studded wristbands.
Studded wristbands.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And so you just were telling me a little bit beforehand, you got started in 1980?
Yes.
Okay, so it was the beginning of the bigger hair and things like that.
The big amps, the big everything.
How old were you in 1980?
I was 19.
19.
19.
All right, and you are going to join. Did you join Damien Steele then, or
No, I joined Damien Steele 1982.
Okay, all right. So they had been around already since
Few years,
like
yes.
79.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what? How did you get into music?
How did I get into music in general?
Singing.
Honestly, it was just listening to the radio constantly.
Okay.
My mother would play the radio constantly, and I would just sing along with it. And then if I had money, I'd buy a record, and I'd play it, and I'd just sing and sing and sing.
I don't envision you as the chorus type of guy or the guy that was in choir at school.
No, unfortunately not. No, I kind of just wanted to be on my own, and I wanted to be the only singer.
All right. Where'd you go to school?
Tech.
At Tech. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because Tech Memorial.
I remember you also said, I had Steve McConnell on earlier about the Snowmen. I've got the album right here. And you saw them at their final
performance at the Tech High Gym, 1979.
So you were going to Tech at the time there,
yes,
right?
I just had graduated.
You had just graduated.
Yeah, it was like October, November of 79.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. That's a memorable event for a lot of folks.
There's pictures somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to post some of those on that episode. So how do you get into singing in a band?
How did I get into it in general?
Well, I mean, what was the first one?
It was technically a bunch of guys in high school.
That's always how it happens.
That's the way it started. And he lived on the east side, the drummer. He was a friend of mine in school. He said, I got some guys over here, da-da-da-da-da. So I come down, and he's pounding on the drums, and he's jamming the guitar, and 4 or 5 songs. I'm like, well, where's the singing? And they said, well, none of us can really sing. I said, well, I can.
Yeah.
Well, here it is. Here's the mic. Give it a shot. I think it was a Beatles song. I'm pretty sure it was Beatles. I think it was like Helter Skelter or something like that.
Who were these guys? Do you remember?
Jimmy Costa was the only one I remember vaguely.
Okay.
He was a drummer, very, very good friend, very good drummer. Unfortunately, he went to California over the years, and I lost contact with him.
Okay. So did the band happen? I mean,
no, unfortunately not. It was kind of just nobody really wanted to be serious back in that time. You know, they jammed, but nobody wanted to be serious. So I just kept fine tuning it until finally, 1980, I got on a musician's referral. Yeah, back mailing a letter to I can't remember, promotions referral, and I got this pamphlet in the mail looking for people, singers looking bands, and I found a guy in Pittsburgh.
Huh.
And I hooked up with them for 2 years.
Really? What was that band?
Icarian.
Okay.
Yes. And the drummer, he's in a jazz band now somewhere in Illinois.
Okay.
And the guitar player, fun one is, he's playing in a Rush tribute now.
Oh, really?
Out of Pittsburgh, yes.
So you're 19.
Yeah.
And you're traveling to Pittsburgh to practice?
Well, by some strange luck of the way, the bass player lived in Edinburgh. So I would catch a ride with him.
All right.
That's how we worked. But I did drive. Oh, I most certainly did.
And did you know, what type of music was it?
AC/DC, Rush, Van Halen.
So right up your alley.
Right. It was right there. It was like, boom, Ozzy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They would tell me, here's the albums, buy them, learn the songs. That's it.
Icarian.
Yes.
Did Icarian play out?
We most certainly did.
Oh, yeah?
Quite a bit. Somewhere out there, there's a videotape from 1982, which I will. It's
You'll pay to see?
It's very primitive.
All right.
But yeah.
Where were you playing? In Pittsburgh?
We played Pittsburgh. We played Du Bois. We played all over like that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we were right between the Zeppelin fading out and the big hair rock. So right band, wrong time.
Okay.
That's what I like to think about that band.
All right.
But it was a great group.
What happened?
Mutual agreement. We all just said we're done.
Okay.
We're all done. December 18th, 1982.
Why do you remember that?
Because that was our last show and it was packed to the roof.
Where at?
We played a fire hall in Pittsburgh. We were broken up. And our guitar player's brother calls me on the phone and says, Jeff, you got to play this show. I sold the ticket, blah, 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 blah. So I drove down, played the show, got up the next day and left. And I still talk to him occasionally through Facebook.
Sure. Everything's through Facebook. Right.
But it's nice. We reminisce once in a while, that stuff.
And
there's pictures somewhere out there of us.
So are you doing 3, 4 sets a night? What's the deal?
3
sets?
3 long sets.
All covers.
All covers. Yeah. We worked on original material, but we never recorded it.
Okay. All right. And I don't think of you as a guy who does a lot of original stuff over your career. Am I correct?
Well, I've never done it totally original.
Okay. But never been in an all
with Damien
original.
Steele, we had enough original material. We got to play the whole set.
You did.
We could have opened for a national, which that was our one dream that never happened.
Right.
We always wanted to open for somebody national. We never got a chance.
So do you go from a Icarian to Damien Steele?
Yes, I do.
All right.
As a matter of fact.
How does that happen?
Okay, here we go.
All right.
I was at the Mill Creek Mall talking to some people, and we were talking about local bands, and someone said Damien Steele. And all of a sudden, this little guy, he comes up to me and says, hey, did you say Damien Steele? I said, yeah. Oh, I work for him. I said, really? Yeah, I roadie for him. I said, well, who's their singer? Well, they ain't got one right now. I said, well, let me give you my number. And I give you my number.
Who is this guy?
His name is Dave Kornowski.
Okay.
And he gave the number to Steve. His name was Steve Batuzak.
Yep.
And he called me, and we said, well, we practice on Tuesday nights. And I said, okay. And he gave me a couple songs, and I went down, and I guess I was in a band.
Were they kind of broken up, like at the time?
No, they were playing as a 3-piece.
Okay.
The bass player was singing lead.
Right. So they had always been a 3-piece, or did he say that their lead singer had left, and that's why you?
They started as a 3-piece, and then they got a singer, and then he left. Then they went as 3-piece, and then I came in.
So we're talking Paul Staub, Steve Batuzak?
Yes.
And was Clark
Clark was the singer.
He was the singer.
Yeah, he was the original lead singer. Yes.
So he left, and who was the drummer? Jeff?
Jeff Crock.
Jeff Crock. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. At the time.
Yes.
Right. Later it would become Doug.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So those 3 guys, Paul, Steve, and Jeff, that's the core of the band.
Yes.
2 Jeffs.
Yes.
So how did that go over? I mean,
really good.
Yeah.
I thought that first night it was like, wow, this sounds really good. That was one of the reasons I left Icarian. I wanted to do a little heavier stuff.
Okay.
I watched an Iron Maiden video with the guitar player of Icarian, and he said, nah.
Oh, really?
He didn't like them. He didn't like the British metal that was coming out. The only band he liked was British was Led Zeppelin.
All right.
That was it.
Which was not exactly metal.
So they were playing, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Motley Crue. I mean, all the good stuff. And it was like, wow, it was just like Contact. Perfect.
This is what, 82?
1982.
82. Mm-hmm. So they had already been a band for a few years. They already had a following.
Yes.
Had you seen them?
No, I never did. I saw their name.
Okay, because you're not even 21 yet.
Right.
Okay, but you had heard of them.
I heard the name, yes.
So there was no trepidation about stepping into somebody else's shoes or stepping into a band that was already in existence. No. You were like, let's do this.
Yes, they did a really interesting thing. They said through word of mouth, we have a singer. So we play our first show December 82 at the Polish Sharpshooters Club on West 12th. And they start off the night by playing as a 3-piece. And everyone's going like, well, where's the singer?
Yeah.
So they do Ace of Spades. They said, okay, as soon as Ace of Spades over, you're going to come out. We're going to do Number of the Beast. I said, okay, we'll play the intro for Number of the Beast.
But Paul was singing Ace of Spades? Okay,
right. And as soon as the lights went out, I ran on the stage. And the lights are dim, the fog starts rolling in, and all of a sudden the intro to The Prisoner by Iron Maiden comes on instead. Right. Not the same. So Paul yelled, "Prisoner!" So that was my first song ever on stage with Damien Steele.
Right. Mm-hmm. And how'd that night go? Do you remember?
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Everybody was there. Handshakes, everything else. The end of the night, welcome to the band. It was great.
The Polish Sharpshooters.
Yes.
Was that a place that they used to
have? $5 all the beer you could drink.
Really?
It was fun to be young.
Yeah. And they had heavy metal bands.
Yeah,
all sorts of bands.
I guess they rented it out.
Okay, gotcha.
They still rented a lot of halls and had parties.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
They did. They played Bell Valley. They played all the fire halls around town, they did.
What was the Loft in Harbor Creek? Did you play there?
I never played there, but I saw one. I went to a prom on there
Okay.
once. Friction Blade.
Sure, of course they did. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
they played at everybody's.
Yes, at the Loft. I remember I played there. I never played there, but I was there.
Because I know
one time.
they had played there earlier, and
Yes.
I'd seen a lot of people
I saw
on
some
Facebook.
pictures from that. Yeah, I've seen pictures, but no, I did not. I never played the Loft. I wish to God I could have, but I never did.
You were playing with them for a number of years, right? How many years?
Well, played 6 months with them, and then we had a party of the ways. I don't really know the whole story to this day. 40 years later, I still don't know. Until one night, I went and saw them at the Alternative, or whatever it was called at the time,
Sure.
and they wanted me to come back. The manager asked me to come back, and I was like, let's do it. And I stayed for 2.5 years.
They had a manager.
Yes, Steve's mom.
Okay.
Irene, God rest her soul. She was the. If it wasn't for Irene, there would have been a Damien Steele. I can say that right now.
Oh, really?
She was our Rod Smallwood. She was it. She made us the way we were.
Did you guys practice at his house?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so she was that supportive
Yes,
parent that pushed the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What were some of the early places that you played, or any of the places that you played aside from both Sharpshooters and?
We played.
Did you play the Alternative on your own?
No, we never did. We
No?
never played there by ourselves. No, we played the Corner Bar in Ripon, New York. We played Oliver's in Erie.
Yep.
We played Sherlock's. We did actually play Sherlock's back in 83. We did.
Now, see, I would think you would have played that a lot. No?
No, we played a battle of the bands at Rainbow Gardens. 15 bands. We won.
Okay.
And the winner got a gig at Sherlock's.
Wow. All
Well,
right.
yeah, plus award money, but we got a gig at Sherlock's on a Thursday night.
Okay. That was when they were having music.
And we had every light, every PA, every speaker in there that night. And we gave it everything we had, and they liked us.
But
went over good.
Didn't have you back, or
we went back later on.
Okay, yeah.
But never really on a regular basis. Like, you know what I mean? Bad timing.
And you just said, we hauled this, we hauled that. So back then, I mean, everything was much bigger. You had a lot of shit to carry.
Big drums, big amps, guitars, and speakers, and PA, and lights, and everything. Oh, yeah, there was no in-house then. No.
You're the singer.
I'm the singer.
So are you one of those singers that helps out?
You better believe it.
Yeah.
I always hate people say, the singer just sits back. And
That's what I wondered.
Not true.
Yeah.
I can tell you how many drum sets I've torn down and loaded. Or a guitar player who was too much to drink and couldn't tear his gear down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's me.
All right. Now, you're a guy, I've known you for a number of years now. You've always been full of energy, but you weren't into drugs or any of that stuff ever, from what I understand.
No.
You had some drink back in the day.
Sure.
But you weren't into that scene, I know. And but you've always been full of energy, and you had to coming right up on stage, right?
Right.
I mean, was there a show? Like, how much of it was a show, like planned out? Like, this at this point you're going to come on and do this or that. Did you guys talk about that, or was it just a set list? And we're going to.
It was a set list. We would we'd always have a set list. We'd never wing it. We'd have a set list.
Sure.
There really had we're going to have this thing come out and do this part of the show.
That's what I wondered.
We didn't change sets or change costumes. No, we just
all right,
passed it out for 3 sets and that's it.
How about the costumes? I'm going to call them costumes. Back then, it was just what you wore.
Right. We went for black. Black was our color.
Okay.
The leather vests and the black pants, the black boots, and they're not so much wigging our hair out to 20 decibels.
Right.
We just kind of like just long. That's about it. It was whipping around and everything, but it was just black and just kind of like the Judas Priest look.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen some of those pictures. I'm going to post those on the episode. I mean, you had shorter hair for that band.
Yes.
In the early days.
Yes.
And so where did you go to get all that stuff? I mean, that had to have been like, okay, now you need to dress the part.
Right. There were actually, there was a store. There were a lot of stores around that aren't here, like local stores that we sell black jeans, and they had a shop up at the mall that sold wristbands and.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah,
that's where I bought them.
Okay,
I still have them to this day.
I wondered. Yeah, yeah. You keep everything. You brought some stuff for me
I
today.
Did. Yes,
all right, cool. We'll get some pictures of those on the site. All right, so. You play with them for a few years after leaving for a little while.
Right.
And during that little while that you left, they were back to a 3-piece?
Yeah. Well, no, Clark had come back.
Oh, Clark came back.
Yeah, Clark came back, and then he quit again.
All right.
And then they went as a 3-piece. And I think they wanted to experiment in more material, and Paul couldn't really do some of that stuff.
Okay.
So we just said, Paul, one of the best harmonizers I've ever worked with.
Oh,
Absolutely,
really?
vocal wise, absolutely incredible lyricist. Wrote some great music.
So the two of you were doing vocals. Was anybody else, Steve, or
No,
no?
Steve just did some backups. That's
Okay.
it.
All
He
right.
pretty much just let the guitar do the talking.
Right. And when it came to writing music, talk about that. Did you
Right.
write together? How did you do that? Did Paul bring
Paul
everything?
wrote the majority of the words and would give them to me, and I would work with them and shorten this word, this, that, the other thing, edit it.
Right.
But he was primarily the lyricist.
Okay.
Steve was the riffs.
Yeah.
And we would just say, well, the straight beat or whatever. Or I would go in here and sing it with a little more oomph on it, a little more higher,
Right.
stuff like that. That's how it would work.
Yeah. And where are those recordings? Whatever happened to that?
Well, we had so many good songs. We did record 3 songs for Erie Rocks, which are on YouTube.
Okay. Erie Rocks was that TV show.
Yes,
cable
it was a TV
access.
show, and Ed and Jimmy, love him.
Yep.
He had them and he posted them.
Oh,
on
cool.
So they're on YouTube.
All right.
Type in Damien Steele. There is 3
I'll
of our
find-
songs that we actually did on the recording. And a few years back, when they did their album,
The Erie Rocks album.
they did the
Yeah,
album,
yeah.
and I was called by my old guitar player that was in the band with us, Mike Learn,
Right.
and from Arizona, and he asked me if I had a copy of the original 3 songs we recorded. I said, yes, I do. And he says, why? He says, because I want to reissue the album. And I said, oh, great, with 3 songs that I sang on. So I said, yeah, I got it. And I'm like, oh, God, please tell me I got it. And I find the cassette. Yes, you heard it right.
Cassette.
And I called a guy on the phone. He says, don't worry about it. I've got every way to record anything. You can send it to me in a tube from 1800. I can record it. So they went in, they redid them. So I can say on the Damien Steele, the 3 words I've always want to say, I'm on it.
You're on
I'm on it. I'm actually on a CD with my name on it and everything.
How many songs are on that?
I believe there are 10 and the 3 bonus tracks.
Okay, so you're not singing on all of them.
No, Mark Hopkins was singing on that. He was a singer at the time. They had recorded the album and I don't know, maybe it got shelved. I don't really know. To be honest, I didn't stay in contact with them after that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So Mark came after you.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Way after me. Yeah. They kind of reformed it all. And, it's one of those ones where, wish them all the luck in the world.
Right.
But it's like, I thought they had their thing. I got mine. So
you play with them for 2 years after, the initial 6 month.
Yeah.
And then you just part ways.
Yeah. We just kind of mutually all said we're done.
The band broke up.
Yeah. The band broke up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All
We
right.
broke up.
All right.
We did our last show.
So that's 87?
86.
86? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And but then they reformed later.
Later. Yeah,
okay.
In the 90s. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, you mentioned Mike Learn. He came in at the end of your stint?
He came in about a year, I'd say a year before we broke up.
Steve had left?
Nope. No, we were pushing Steve to get another guitar player.
Oh, okay.
And Doug had known Mike. And we just said, come on, Steve, it'll really affect really be a hit.
Right.
And finally he said, okay, so we had a jam and it was magic. And his first show with us was the Headquarters in Conneaut.
I saw that on the list.
Yeah. And we opened with Wasted Years by Iron Maiden. Absolutely twin guitar. It was no looking back. They were a great team on guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just sorry there's not a lot of video of us with Mike.
Yeah.
Sad to say. There's no video, really. Back then you didn't have phones.
Sure, right.
I wish they did.
Right.
I wish I had this when I went to the field house.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So you leave, or the band breaks up,
Right.
and then what happens for you?
Okay, let's see.
Are we talking Strutter?
I worked with Strutter with Jamie Shaw.
So let's talk about that. So is Rainey in the band already?
Yes.
I mean, so
he kind of wanted to build this band. It was his building a band.
Okay, so he built it with you and Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie Shaw, Wally Urkonis was playing bass. Then we looked for a drummer, and we got a guy named Mark Smith.
Yep.
And he tried out for us and said, "You're it. We got it." So that was the nucleus of that band.
So John put the band together.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What had he been playing in before that? Do you remember?
He played Anthem.
Oh, right.
Doc Holliday, they were called. It was a rock. It was not a country band.
Oh, yeah.
I was
going to say.
Holiday.
I can't see John Rainey playing in a country band.
Doc Holliday. Yeah.
But you knew who he was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I knew him before I knew him when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing him. There was this outdoor party, and he was playing, and he was just wailing on a guitar.
Huh.
And he was. I was like, wow, this is good.
Was he older than you?
Yeah. I don't even know how old he was. About probably 5 years older than me.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he would seem like couldn't even talk to this guy. Hey, you're really good. I'm a singer too. Oh, really? Who you play for?
Yeah, right,
That's like
right.
walking up to Jimmy Page. No, well, who are you? No, I just didn't. I was always, I didn't know how to approach people back then.
How did that come about with Strutter? Did he get a hold of you somehow?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we had known each other. We'd worked together, jammed on a couple things, and he'd just say, "I'm putting this new band together." Da 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 da, and he brought us all in the same room, and we all seemed to agree on what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is the mid 86, 87.
86, 87.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about you wish there were phones back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most famous videos Jamie has that posted on YouTube of the famous John Rainey falling off stage.
What can we say? It's a footnote in Erie Rocks.
Seriously, I mean,
it is.
I have heard that story so many years before Jamie posted that. Walk me through it. Tell me what you remember.
I remember we were playing Dr. Feelgoods in
Yep.
Colonia, and we went to Breaking the Law by Judas Priest. He jumped off the stage, and he had these boots on. It was that dance floor like plexiglass.
Yeah, right.
And he slipped. He didn't land.
Oh, because it looked like he fell off.
No, he did not fall. He jumped down to do the song, and he went backwards and landed on his back. I heard it. And he took his guitar and threw it right across the dance floor.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did. It was just embarrassment. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
But then you see him come back with a vengeance from the side and just goes right into a solo.
Oh, yeah.
Same guitar, or did he grab another one?
I don't know if he had. I think he had another guitar with him.
Because I saw you walk over to Wally, I think, and said, or to Jamie, and said something.
Well, yeah, we didn't know what happened. We thought he got hurt. We thought he got hurt or something, I mean,
but you never missed a beat, though.
No, we just kept going.
Right, you guys just kept going, and
we thought, let's try to get through the song, and we'll see what happens afterwards.
Right, I wondered, did you say, are you okay?
He was okay. He was okay. He was all right.
So it was more, he was on the dance floor and he fell back.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
All right.
He just slipped.
Yeah. So, Dr. Feelgoods, where else does Strutter play?
Oh, we did Sherlock's. We did a lot of opening acts.
Okay.
Sherlock's. We opened for quite a few bands. We got to open for Helix one night, 1988. We opened for them. We opened for Rock Candy. Great band.
Yeah.
Really good band. We just would open for anybody. Harpo.
Yeah, you opened
we just being an opening band. We never headlined at Sherlock's.
Oh, really?
No, we never did.
But you did on your own other places.
Right. Not too many. There really wasn't. Hard rock was getting a hard time at that time. But we were playing. We were doing shows, like we did one in New York, down in Meadville we'd play.
Okay.
Stuff like that. But it was, we were just kind of like not quantity of shows, just, quality shows.
Well, that surprises me that you say hard rock was tough at that time. Because, I mean, to me, that seems like the hair bands, there was a lot of hard rock. There was a lot of places to play.
Right. There was just a lot of competition.
Okay.
That's basically it. But we played a lot of parties, like youth parties. People were having those. They were still having those. Like the Holy Trinity. We played there quite a few times. Yeah. That's the way you could get in to see a band without being 21.
And you're playing heavy metal.
Right.
I mean, primarily.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the stuff?
Oh, we were doing a lot of Rat. We were doing
we
were doing Striper, we were doing Rat, we were doing Quiet Riot, some AC/DC, a lot of the hair, like Cinderella and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
That's what we were basically doing. They seemed to like it. I don't even know. I never picked the songs.
No?
No, I've never picked songs. In any band I've been in, you can.
I mean, you have that voice, obviously, for AC/DC, but obviously you can do the Judas Priest, the scream and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, do they come out and say, "Oh, Jeff will be perfect for this song"?
Well, they thought, this will really be a good one to do. This will go over. So they just give me the song and I work on it.
I mean, I sing in a band.
Yes.
Yes. Nothing like you. I mean, have there ever been songs where you're like, I can't hit that?
I remember the one that always stands out in my mind was when I was back in Damien Steele. We were having a party at Paul's house and he puts the Trooper video on. And I looked at him and said, "Do you want me to sing that?"
Yeah.
I remember looking at him like, oh God, this will be fun. But it was. I practiced it and everything else. We ended up doing it.
What kind of crew did you have?
Oh, we had some great guys. We had a light man extraordinaire, very good.
Who are these guys? You remember?
Okay. I'll give you the names if I can remember them. Dan Bailey was our sound man.
Okay.
Decibel Dan.
All right. I like that name.
Phil Brown on lights, really great light man.
Right.
We had Dave Kornowski on roadie. We had a guy named Jose. I can't think of his last name. Real nice guy.
Yeah.
Do anything for you. Need water, something, drink, this, that, the other. He'd be on the stage running around doing everything for us.
Cool.
They were young kids. We had a few more, but I don't remember a lot of their names. They were just, I'd see them, and sometimes they couldn't make it, sometimes. But Dave was at every show. He never failed to show up. He would be our roadie.
I mean, I saw pictures. I mean, you had a shitload of lights on stage.
Yes, we did.
I mean, that was quite a light show.
Yes, it was.
I mean, tearing that stuff down had to have taken those guys a while.
It did. It took us. We would get there early in the day, like for parties, and set it all up, and then hopefully, tear some of it down, or maybe they'd say, "Come back tomorrow."
Right.
We like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you part of that era where it was you're going to play a weekend at a place, or were you doing one-offs still?
We did weekends occasionally, but a lot of times it was one-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sherlock's would give us Thursday nights. That's it.
Okay.
That was our hard rock night.
Is that what that was?
That was pretty much their hard rock night.
All right. Yeah. So what happens after that? You're in Strutter. What happens to Strutter? First of all, why isn't there a Kiss tribute band called Strutter?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, and they've been around for a long time.
Right, but no one ever said anything.
Okay, it was the same time.
No, never said anything.
All right,
we just called ourselves Strutter. It kind of was before the Kiss tribute.
Okay,
a little bit before.
All
so
right.
I think now it would be a problem. But,
yeah,
and then we just went our own way, and that was like around 1988.
Okay.
And I was at the King's Rook Club. Friends of mine were in a band, and they were doing a sound check. And their singer, I don't know where he was. He was in the club, but he wasn't there. They started the song, and I just ran up there and started singing the song just to get a sound check with a sound mix. Get a sound check that. So I did all that, and nothing. But I would go up and do a song with them occasionally.
Who was the band?
Dangerous Age.
Oh God, yeah.
And one night,
so Keith Pacheco's in the band.
Yes, Keith Pacheco, Mike Russo.
Right, Mike Russo's
Yes, and they Mike Russo had come, and a few weeks later, I was at a wedding, and Mike was there, and he asked to talk to me. He says, "Would you like to join the group?" Bob left. I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, the two of you have very similar voices.
Yeah, Mike was really good. There were three vocalists in the band. Mike was in there, Keith, and myself. So we really helped us out.
Yeah. Who was the drummer?
Steve Michaels.
Oh, Steve Michaels.
And then he left, and then we had Mark Devine took over.
Mark Devine.
Devine played to the end, and then we broke up. Oh, it was like 91.
Okay.
91, we called it quits.
So we have talked a little bit about two guys that are infamous in town, and we mentioned this earlier. So John Rainey, who recently passed away.
Yes.
So you played with John just in Strutter?
Pretty much.
Okay.
That actually played out.
Yeah.
Just a little jam here and there, but never anything. That was the only band we ever played in.
Good dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was, man. He really was. He was a phenomenal guitar player. I mean, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was he to be in a band with?
He was okay.
Yeah.
He was just,
Was he in charge?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. It was just like, he would book shows. The money wouldn't exactly be there. I remember that. He would rent all this stuff and not tell us.
Sure.
So we had no money at the end of the night. So those were kind of fun nights. That's kind of tense.
I was going to ask you about that, when I was talking to Steve McConnell and he was talking about the Snowmen days and they were getting $400, back in, the 70s and stuff. I mean, do you remember what you guys were getting paid?
I'll tell you one that stands out in my mind to this day. We played Sherlock's Damien Steele in 1983. Okay. And end of the night, we're getting our money. So she hands us this envelope over the counter. Bev had already left for the night. $150. This is bringing in a full show, full lights and everything. We got $150.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I guess there was no mistake.
There was no mistake.
No. We didn't. I don't think we ever really agreed on a price, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think we ever said, but now the money is there. You know what you're getting.
So you had a crew of 4 guys.
Yes.
And then the band.
Right.
That's slim pickings.
Yeah, it was. But
yeah.
It was a democracy. We all got paid. We all got some money.
But normally you got paid more than that.
Yes.
Okay.
But we were having fun.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. We were having fun.
All right.
We were having a good time. We were playing music we love. That's what came out really good.
When you progress into the 90s, like you said, early 90s, you're in Dangerous Age. You're in a band with Keith Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got some cred at this point. Mike Russo, all those guys have cred.
Exactly.
I mean, are you getting paid a little bit more?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. We weren't playing a lot.
Yeah, right. I didn't think that band played.
The shows were selected. We would play the Rook a lot.
Right.
The Barracks and Girard.
Okay.
Occasionally Sherlock's.
All right.
One show in Meadville somewhere, but mostly we just small.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just stayed in a local circuit.
Okay.
Small shows. Yeah.
So let's talk about Keith.
Yes.
So another fantastic Erie musician that everybody loved.
Right.
So you played in a band with him, but then you also recorded with him later on, right?
Yeah, we did some recording, a few songs.
Who
I
was
don't.
we? Like,
Mike Russo was there involved in it,
okay.
and I'm not sure who the rhythm section was. It was just something he asked me to come in, and I tell you the truth, I don't even remember much about it.
Oh,
It was
really?
just it was reading it, was learning it real quick,
It
and
was at TRS.
yes,
Okay. All right.
yes.
All right. But any memories of playing in the band with him? Like, what was the vibe like being in a band with those guys?
Perfectionist, a
That's what I
great,
wondered.
absolutely pushed you to the limit, which I loved.
Yeah.
Uh, a very quiet man. He was a very quiet person off
Right.
stage. A lot when he was on stage. Another person. He was totally. I remember the one thing about Keith that I'll never forget. We did "Comfortably Numb" by Pink Floyd.
Wow.
End of the first set. He starts the solo on the Strat solo, the Dave Gilmour,
Sure.
playing it. All of a sudden, string breaks. He's still going at it. String breaks another one. He broke 3 strings at the end of that song, but still finished the
Still
solo.
finished the song.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Right.
We're gonna take a short break right now. We had no choice.
Sure. Right.
But it was great. He was fantastic.
So this podcast covers 60s, 70s, and 80s. We've gotten in a little bit to the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So you continue to play with folks over the years, right?
Right.
We've covered your 80s. You pretty much played for a 10-year run,
Yes.
heavy metal, and at none of this point have you played in any AC/DC tribute bands.
No.
All
None.
right. All right.
Absolutely none.
So you're doing all covers, everything, hard rock,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And I didn't ask you this before. Have you ever played an instrument?
A little bass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a little bit of bass.
It's easy. Trust me.
I practiced on it, and then I went to the band to try out, and I never even got in the band. And they said, "Well, we don't need a bass player, we need a singer." So I put the bass down. And
Oh, this was way back. in the
way
day.
back.
Yeah,
So I just grabbed. I put it away and sold it a couple years later.
I was going to say you don't
Yeah.
have that anymore.
No, I don't have any of my instruments anymore. Sorry to say.
As a vocalist, what do you have? Do you bring your own mic?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes,
All
I
right.
have my own
stand.
Oh,
mic,
my own stand. I have
cords.
absolutely my own stand. I usually
Right.
had
Right.
been over the country with it. Yep.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, what happens then for you as far as a musician in town after Dangerous Age breaks up? I mean, you obviously play in a bunch of different bands over the years.
Right.
Right.
Well, of course, you're looking for something.
Yeah. Right.
You're looking for something, then all of a sudden I started doing a little more behind the lights.
Oh.
I would work with Jamie Shaw. He had a light show.
Oh, really?
He ran his own Shaw lighting. And I would work with him, follow spot.
And was Jamie playing with anybody? Or?
At the time, no. He
No.
was just kind of like just doing the lights.
Okay.
And so I would work with him.
All right.
We would go on the road and do things.
Oh.
And then the moment of truth came. I was working with Jamie. We were doing a show for a band called Loud House
Yeah.
in Kane, Pennsylvania.
Scott Moffat's in that band.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get there, pull up with the truck, and he's talking to Frank Bellamini.
Yeah.
And they're laughing. And I'm saying, well, what's so funny? Well, we were thinking about starting a tribute band. I said, tribute band? What is it? He says, AC/DC. I said, oh, that's interesting. So they're talking about this all the way to Kane. We get there, we set up for Loud House, we play the show. It's great. It's over the top. I mean, I don't even know where it was.
Hard rock.
Oh, yeah. They were
Yeah.
phenomenal. They
Yeah.
were just really kicking it.
Yeah.
So we tear down that night, and then he starts talking about the tribute band again. And they're talking about it and talking about it. I'm sitting between them, driving in the U-Haul, trying to sleep. And finally,
It's 3 in the morning.
right? And finally, I just said, "Look, if I said I would do it, and I didn't say I'd do it, who are we going to get to play drums? Who are we going to get to play bass?"
Right.
I left it at that. Right. Then finally, he says, "Hey, we got a bass player." Oh, okay. And we got a drummer. Oh, okay. So we put it together. We started practicing. We got 7 songs. Seven songs. And I can't think who booked us. We're opening for Exit at Sherlock's Friday night with 7 songs.
Yeah.
So we get there that night, and Frank's got the outfit, and I got a hat.
You got a hat?
And I remember looking in the mirror at Sherlock, and this is the craziest thing I've ever done. We played. They loved it. The next night, we went back and played with them again on Saturday night. Place was packed by 9:00. People wanted to see it again.
Exit. You played with Exit
Yeah,
twice.
they wanted to see this
Yeah.
this new band.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And people were phenomenal. They took to it like water. We couldn't
Cool.
believe the reaction.
But you didn't go by Loud House, right?
No, we went by. We were trying to find a name. It was the hardest thing about it. Thunderstruck. We came up.
Thunderstruck.
Right.
Yes.
Thunderstruck. We
Right.
said that sounds so
Yeah.
powerful and everything. We're like, yeah.
So did Loud House dissolve?
No,
did it
no,
evolve?
they were still together because at the time we had Jamie Shaw, Frank Bellamini, Bill Jacobs, on the drums, Chris Rodler on the bass, and myself. That was the
Okay.
original lineup.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
the original one.
Gotcha.
And then I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Bill left. Bill Jacobs left the band, and we found another drummer that we
Okay.
wanted to get actually way back in the day. We found Mike Ropoleski,
Oh, yeah.
and then finally Jamie had to leave for
Okay.
personal reasons, and Nick came on board, Frank's brother,
Okay.
and he brought Anthony with him, Anthony Mucci from Loud
Oh,
House.
yeah. Right.
So
right.
yeah, there you go. So
Okay.
we kind of like that. By that time, that band had broken up. So that was
Some of those guys you've played with since then.
yes,
Yeah. I mean, Anthony, right?
yes.
Yeah, for sure. In what band?
Well, he's with us now.
in Hell's Bells?
Hell's Bells. It's
Yeah.
4 of
That's what I
Thunderstruck guys.
thought.
4 of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
we just don't have we have another drummer. That's all.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, how many AC/DC bands have you been in?
Wow.
I mean, that was the first one. Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck. Let me think now. No particular order. Thunderstruck, High Voltage, Bonfire, Dirty Deeds, Black Ice, Sin City, and Heatseeker.
Wow. Who comes up with the names?
They all did. I just
Okay.
these are a lot of these bands were just they called me and asked me, hey, will you come highly recommended? Can you do a show with us? And
Right.
so
right.
I sent a tape to after Thunderstruck had called it quits. I had gone down to Sherlock's in a downer mood, and I saw a Guns N' Roses tribute. And I looked at the poster and looked at the bass player and looking at you're not the guy that's in the poster. No, they called me 2 days ago. They were coming through Cleveland, and I had learned songs, and I came in with them.
Oh.
So I said, "Wow, that's interesting." So I think, "Oh, what have I got to lose?" So then I see in the Scene magazine. Remember Scene magazine?
Scene mag, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
you want to get the
Yeah.
classified.
Right.
Sin City seeks Angus. So I called them, and I said, "Well, you and Angus?" I said, "No, I'm a singer. We don't need a singer." So okay, fine, thank you.
Right.
So I sent a tape of AC/DC stuff I've recorded
Okay.
to their manager. And
Where were they at?
they were out of Long Distance Promotions out of Cleveland.
Okay. All right.
Or Cincinnati, excuse me. And I didn't think none of us, stick a letter on it, stamp it, throw it in the mailbox. And I got home and there was a message on the machine that they need a singer for Saturday night. Can you do a show on Saturday night with us? And it was in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay. So how far away is Saturday night? Days?
5 days.
Okay. All right.
5 days. I called the manager. He says, you're going to go to Youngstown. You're going to get off on Route 11. You're going to meet a guy in a parking lot. His name's Tony. I said, okay.
This doesn't sound good.
So I pull over this guy with long black hair. Look like Mickey Six from Motley Crue.
All right.
He says, are you Jeff? I said, yeah, follow me. And he takes off in his yellow Camaro flying about 100 miles an hour. I think, who is this guy? Pull into the lot. We get in the truck. I meet the bass player and then meet the drummer and we meet the guitar player showed up at the show. And okay, and here we are. We're going to wing this. There's no sound there. They've heard me on a recording. And
they didn't send you a set list?
No. I knew all. They said we do all. I said I wasn't worried about it.
Okay.
9 out of 10. So so here I am. We set up and moment of truth, sound check. Okay, here we go. But I'm as nervous as you can get. Right?
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous.
Right.
We did Shoot the Thrill off the back of Black Album. Went really good. So I said, okay, so we're playing co-night with the Journey tribute called what was it? Frontiers, I think it was called.
Okay, all right, makes sense.
And they opened the show. We split the night with them, and
Right.
I remember just saying, okay, here we go, and that's it. So the next thing you know, they asked me to come back, and I stayed for a year.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they gave me dates and everything. They said
Always down around Columbus area?
Oh no. Oh ho ho ho. How about as far as Baton Rouge, Louisiana?
Oh.
As far as Fargo, North Dakota? Everywhere down that line, all over.
And you have kids at this point.
I have kids.
You're married with kids.
I have 2 kids.
A
yes.
very
they are
understanding
5
wife.
And 3. 5 and 3. And they were just. It was getting to be a little problem.
I mean, you're probably not getting paid a lot.
No, but I had a boss that was really cool about letting me take time off.
Okay.
And I only have to go like 3 days, and I would get back home, and the money was decent.
Yeah.
It was. At the time, tribute bands were doing really well.
Oh, okay. That's what I wondered.
No, we were doing really good. And it was just. But I got to see a point. My kids, they were young. And,
yeah.
Was
it all opening gigs, or were you
no
whole
headlining?
nights?
All headlining.
Okay.
Yeah, we were headlining all the time. Split a night with the Strutter Kiss tribute a couple.
Oh, you did?
Oh, that was a great double bill.
Did you tell them I used to be in a band called Strutter?
Yes. I told the bass player about that. Yeah, you just laugh and stuff like that. We would run into them guys all the time. We're going up to far North Dakota. They're coming back from North Dakota. And then we see them again. The same confused story. Hey, how you guys doing?
Wow.
It's funny. Yeah.
In North Dakota.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're away from home for a while. Were you driving?
Well, we had a truck. We drove.
Still
We all rode in a truck
in a
together.
van. Yeah, right.
5 guys in a van.
Yeah.
Time of your life.
Those must have been some memorable days.
23 hours we drove to get home.
Wow.
23 hours it took us to get home.
Holy cow.
Grand Forks was the last stop on the tour. And then finally I just told them I had to leave.
Yeah.
I love you guys, but I need to be a little more time home. You know, I
Sure.
needed it.
That had to be the farthest you were traveling as a musician.
Oh yeah, that's the farthest I've ever traveled.
Yeah, right. So in recent years, like today, you're in Hell's Bells.
Yes.
But are you in another band too?
Yes, I'm in an 80s glam, tribute to the 80s.
That's what I mean. The one with the hair is
Yes.
the one I'm talking about. You got a big wig on that head.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, what's that band
It's
called?
called Never Enough.
Yes.
Yes. We I found them guys. I went and saw them one night. And
who's in the band? Tell us who.
We have John. I think his name is. I can't think of his last name. It's almost John.
It's all right. I'm putting you on the spot.
And there's Doug on the guitar.
All right.
And Jeff on the bass and keys. So it's really it's really a really good group. I mean, we do a lot of, it's the 80s dance stuff, the hair. But we do a lot of just, like Billy Idol and Billy Squire and
sure,
Europe and stuff like that.
Perfect.
Rat, all this stuff like that. But right now, it's a tough business.
Yeah,
it's really tough
because there's hardly any place to play.
Right now,
yeah.
you have to be, and we don't know what. Well, right now, winter's coming too. Unfortunately,
right. Yeah.
But
so, you and I know each other because of your love of the field house and music in general.
Yes.
So what we haven't talked about is, so you're a musician in the 80s and you're not playing all the time. Who are you going to see? Who did you remember? I really I love these guys. I know this guy, in Erie bands.
Oh, who would I go see as far as Erie bands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would go see this band. Now, I love Hit and Run. Oh, I love those guys.
The original
Hit and Run.
Okay.
I love them guys.
All
They let me come up and do a song once in a while.
Oh, okay.
So one night they called me. They were playing at the, where was it? Oh, just give me 1 second to think. It was on 26th Street. Oh my God, it's right there. It's right across the World of Music. Landmark, the Landmark Tavern.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked me if I could help out that weekend. And I was playing Friday night with Damien Steele. I said, oh, I can't. What about tomorrow night? Sure. So Mike covered the night. And I went up on stage, did the whole show with no rehearsal. Absolutely. I knew their set list backwards and forwards.
And Mike Russo was in the band at the time. So, yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. So Hit and Run, who else?
I would go see ATV with Keith Pacheco.
Right. So the later version when who was in the band? The girl and
Maggie.
Maggie was in the band.
I saw him with Maggie. Yeah. Singing for him. Yeah,
fantastic.
I can't remember who the else guys in the band. I mean, they had a lot of guys.
McConnell was in the band at that time too, and
I can't think of the bass
Pat Tallarico had left. Paul Gall was probably was Paul Gall in ATV? Someone's going to correct me. I don't know.
Yeah. That was I remember Maggie.
Everybody
was it. I saw Maggie open for Triumph. Oh, was that a show?
Yeah,
for Triumph. Just in
that's
time.
Right.
They
just in time.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
See?
That's right. Who else? Who else do you remember?
Aura. They were another band. I saw them. I just totally stopped in one night. I was driving down the road and all these lights are flashing in the room, so I pulled in.
Where at?
The club on the CVS Club or something on 38th Street.
Oh yeah.
CYS Club. Right. They were playing there. I don't know why, but they were playing there, and I went in and sat there and watched them play. They were really very good band. They would do a lot of heavy stuff too. They were like Damien Steele style.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, hard stuff and everything else.
AURA. Aura. Yeah, I remember seeing the name. Yeah. All right.
There was another ones I would always go see. Those were kind of the ones I'd always go check out.
Yeah.
Go see them. I'd go see them. I saw the Frenchman once.
Okay.
I actually saw the Frenchman.
Yeah.
John Drum and all them
guys.
Right. Saw Pistol Whip once. Oh, they were hilarious.
The original Pistol Whip.
Pistol Whip.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I laughed so hard in my life.
All right.
They were so funny to watch on stage.
Well, I mean, those were shows.
Yeah, they gave a show. Oh, they gave a show.
Yeah.
Yes, they were funny.
Of your locations that you played, venues that you played, which one did you like the most in Erie? I mean, was it Sherlock's?
I love Sherlock's.
Yeah,
I love Sherlock's a lot. So there's more regret of not some place you didn't get. I never got a chance to play. Never got to play the Peninsula Inn.
Oh, really?
Bummed me out. Never got in there to play that one. Trader Jack's up in New York. Never got a chance to play there. Played the Loft. Played the Abbey. Played all those places.
You did? Okay.
Sherlock's is a tough act to follow.
The alternative was closed, or
Oh, that was gone by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the alternative. It went through so many names and so
Right.
many changes.
Right.
But yeah, the alternative. Oh, I missed that. That was. I would just go out there a lot. I didn't care who was playing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go see a band
Yeah.
out there. But it was a drive. I mean, that was a drive across town.
For you,
Because
yeah.
I lived out on the
Yeah,
west
you
side.
live way out. Yeah, right.
Yeah, on the west. Yeah.
Yep. Molly B's, places like that.
Right. Molly B's. Yeah, the Pulse. They did it
Right.
last night there.
Right.
Yeah, that was a very
Yeah.
good show. They were very good too.
You
them
saw
a couple
them.
of times.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I saw them a couple of times.
All
Yeah,
right.
they were very good.
Cool.
Very, very good. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that pretty much covers it for you, I think,
For
right?
me? Wow.
That's a lot, man.
Well,
That's a lot.
There's a lot of stories. I mean, you know that. Maybe we should write a book about Erie.
That's right. That'll be the next thing. I know a guy who can do that. Yeah.
I think I know one too. No names, but I think we can find.
Well, listen, this is perfect. I think this will be a good place to stop. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Jeff Crock, thank you for being on the Erie Music History Podcast.
Glad to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
This was great. And for those of you out there listening, make sure that you check out the webpage, because once this goes live, and it'll go live on a Sunday, I will put up the pictures or some pictures that I have stolen off the web of Jeff wearing those spandex pants and with short and long hair. And I'm sure Jeff's going to give me some stuff today to take a look at.
Possibly.
And I'll take some pictures of that, and we'll get those up. So make sure you hit that subscribe button on your podcast app, or now on Facebook, you can actually listen to the show right on the podcast's Facebook page. So that's pretty cool. As usual, I want to remind you that if you're looking for information on the current music scene, you need to check out Jack Stevenson's Two-Man Happy Hour podcast, which you can download at any other podcast app, just like normal. You can also go to twomanhappyhour.com and get the PDF, or listen to the short podcast, which basically tells you who's playing where and when right now. It's about a 2-3 minute podcast. Special thanks again to the financial assistance provided to the podcast by the JPT Foundation, which supports local organizations and charities. They have a big bingo hall up on 38th Street next to Our Lady of Peace in the plaza there. Check them out. They have bingo 4 days a week, and you can also rent out that giant hall. So again, JPT Foundation doing a lot of great things there, and I appreciate the financial support they're giving the podcast. Also, listen to Chris and Julie Moore's Next to You radio program, which they interview various local people. Some of them are past guests on this show. That's on WQLN NPR 91.3 FM, and it streams live. All right. Well, until next time, I'm Chip Shell, and thanks for listening to the Erie Music History Podcast. Hey, and if you're still there, this is my unsolicited free plug of the week. And this time it's not about a particular place, but it's an event. Check out the local Lovin' shops event, pop-up shops that they have periodically each month. I believe it's at the beginning of the month. It involves a lot of local crafters and people that are local that make all sorts of stuff. Including my daughter for Shop Cosmic Dreams. She's usually at it. They have been rotating where the local Lovin' event happens, and you can find out all that information on Facebook. So check those out and support the local folks that are out there making things on their own. All right, see ya.